This is historic.
It's incredible.
We need to find out what this means, and Brendan probably needs to contact counsel. In the meantime, we have the one, the only Jordan Rothman.
A little taller stand-up routine.
Go Jordan!
How's everyone doing tonight? Alright, so a few ground rules, okay? Stand-up comedy is kind of a hard thing to do. And unfortunately, most of you are sober. So it doesn't make it that much easier. And usually my stand-up comedy routines are like dirtier than George Carlin. But like, there's like members of the clergy in the room. I have more brass in the administration that I can make a marching band. And so, I know, thank you for, I love that joke. And so, so I think I'm gonna have to take it down a bit, but I hope that I'm able to provide you, oh, thank you so much. I hope I'm able to, oh wow, I can walk around? Yeah. I hope I can provide you some comedy, and members of the clergy, just like wave your hands if I offend, if I'm too offensive. Okay. So, how many people out there are my tall brothers and sisters? Where are you? Yeah! So a lot of people come up to me, and they ask me, hey Jordan, how tall are you? And I get a little offended, I'm not gonna lie. It's not like I can go up to a heavy person and ask them, excuse me sir, how much do you weigh? It's not like I can go up to a well-endowed woman and ask, excuse me ma'am, how big are your breasts? I mean, I don't really understand the double standard here. It gets kind of offensive after a while. Now, people also come up to me and they ask me, hey Jordan, do you play basketball? And if they're short, I'm like, I don't know, do you play mini golf? I'm so serious. If I was black, that would be a racist thing to say, okay? So I think that they should just refrain from saying it to begin with. And a lot of people say, if I was your height, I'd be in the NBA. And I'm like, no, you'd be goofy and inept. Even beyond that, I sort of come back and say, listen, the only court that I belong in is like the judicial one, all right? But being tall is kind of tough. I mean, sometimes I just want to look myself in the mirror and love the person who I am. But oftentimes the mirror's too short. It's kind of wrong. I wish you guys could just walk around in my shoes for a day. But my shoes are too big. You know what the biggest problem about Georgetown Law is? The buildings have like low entrances. I think like Jesuits are supposed to be short or something. I don't get it. One time I ran through an entrance and I started bleeding, and I know I can't sue them for tort liability. But you know, all right, fine. So I'm pretty tall. We can all agree on this. And I'm also Jewish. And Jews are not my brothers and sisters. I appreciate it. Now, Jews are usually short. I'm like the Jewish unicorn or something. Rabbis always tell me, like, oh, Jewish mothers, they pop it out so small. Why are you so big? You despise the Torah or something. Oh, yeah. And being a tall Jew, I had a real problem choosing professions. It's not like I can be a dentist. I can't, like, bend over someone's mouth, okay? This is kind of what drew me to law school. So, like, oh, and beyond that, people sometimes ask me, oh, you're so tall. Do you have, like, a height requirement for women, you know, to date? And I'm like, it's not like I have a you must be this tall to ride requirement. To drive romantic liability, I can't afford to impose such a requirement. All right, moving on. All right, moving on. Speaking of dating, how many people out there have tried an online dating website? Oh, you guys don't admit it. I've seen you. I've seen you. I'm OkCupid. That seems to be like the biggest thing here. I've seen you on J-Date. I've seen you. So anyways, for 3 months of my own life, I went on on JDate. JDate is a Jewish dating service. And I was like, I like Jewish women. Maybe I can pick up the Hebrew hotties in the DC area. JDate, like, this seemed like a good thing. So the first thing I did was I had to make a profile. And like on the first page of a JDate profile, it asks for your annual income. And I'm like, oh, those Jews, man. Like, is this normal? Does OkCupid do this? eHarmony? Or is this just like some sort of like matchmaker thing that like the Jewish dating website has? I'm not entirely sure. And then like they wanted my height. And I was like really scared. I'm like, I'm gonna scare away the short Jewish chicks. Like, this is a problem. So I wanted to put like a lot, like height, a lot. But they wouldn't let me do that, so I lied about my height. I said I was 6'6", I'm 6'9". Isn't that a problem? Like, I'm like ashamed of my height. I think it's gonna be a liability. It's a problem. Oh, but I just want to say that like, just thoroughly speaking, you know, a tall man can have certain advantages in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can always find me in a mall. You can wear like any size heels with me. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm tall. You know, it's all good. Anyways, here was my JDate. I got game. I have got JDate game. Every single one of my JDates started at Krispy Kreme in DuPont Circle. And I might think like, oh, that's such an inauspicious like place to have a date. I'm like, no, there's only one Krispy Kreme in DC, and if they stand me up, I still have Krispy Kremes. And then I would get 6 Krispy Kreme donuts, and they would watch me eat them. And I knew if they can bear the sight of that, they were keepers. So there's a lot of like non-Jews on the website too. Like these people have some real shik's appeal, let me tell you. Oh God, okay, only the Levites in the house would get that. But yeah, I can't. My brother actually found his wife on JDate, and she's not Jewish, she's Catholic. But I mean, everyone loves Jewish men, am I right? Like everyone? Yeah. Okay, fine. All right, I got a little bit. All I'm gonna say is that. Oh, and also another thing I want to say about online dating. I have to say this. You really like gauge someone by their photos, and you know there's a problem if the photo's too close or too far away. They either want to take the attention off their body or like show their face. It just never go. All right, that joke just totally failed. Moving on. All I'm gonna say is my JDate subscription costs 3 times more than my Netflix subscription, and let me tell you, I got far more utility out of Netflix than I ever got out of JDate. All right, let me briefly talk about transferring law schools. Now, I'm a proud Hoya, and I transferred here, and people always like tell me here, like, oh, stuff is so bad. Like, the career counselors are really bad. Look, the career counselors at my old law school applied to and took the jobs they were supposed to be advertising. Wait, this isn't funny? Wow, what? That's funny. Like, people were like leaving the career services like department to go to like big law. It was like an issue. Also, like finals at my old law school, like really hardcore. Someone wet themselves during my contracts exam, and this was not taught by Professor Kingsfield. So there was like I had to take a dump during my PR exam, and I think that it hurt my grade, but I still left the room to maintain my dignity. All right. How many of you guys are interviewing right now? I went on a bunch of interviews, and I had some crazy, embarrassing stories, which I will tell you right now. So, as you guys may know, I went to Brandeis University. Anyone Brandeis? Yeah, all right. Brandeis is a predominantly Jewish university. Now, the career services people were like, play to your audience, like, you know, see who's there, and then, like, you know, adapt. So I go to this interview for Lowenstein and Sandler, and I'm like, oh, 2 Jewish names, like, I'm gonna chew out with these guys, like, So, like, I went there, and they asked me a question. They said, what type of people do varsity athletics at Brandeis? Because I did track at Brandeis, and they wanted to know. And then I went to them, and I said, well, mainly the Gentiles. This did not go over well. So, the next interview that I had was with a guy named Chris Christian. I
I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Chris Christian, who went to Catholic University School of Law. So I was like, oh God, there's no way I'm doing the anti-Semitic route here. This is not going to work out for me with Mr. Christian, let me tell you. Turns out Chris Christian went to Brandeis, played soccer, and was on the floor when I told him that story. And he's like, it's true, why would they be offended? It's true, I don't get it. So all I'm saying is like, feel free to like do stuff like that. It might help you out. One time I walked into an interview and I shook the guy's hands and I'm like, I'm so happy I got an interview with you guys. You guys are my #2 firm. And they were like, who was your #1 firm? Whoever, we're your #1 firm. Do never tell a firm that they're your #2 firm. That doesn't work out. Okay? And I guess this is just innate knowledge, but for me, I'm such a schlemiel. Like, it just goes over my head. I'm a tall guy to begin with. Alright. One time I mentioned Jay-Z's 99 Problems in an interview. Don't do this. It's like, I ain't cast the bar, but I know a little bit. Enough of you that you can't illegally search my shit. It's not going to work out. Like, you just shouldn't mention Jay-Z's songs in interviews. I didn't get a call back. This isn't a good thing. Oh, I'm gonna end with this. I went to Delaware for a callback, and I went to the receptionist at the building, and I said, I'm here for an interview. And then she said, oh, are you at Skadden? And I'm like, yeah, I wish. Oh, you guys don't know. All right, whatever. Anyways, they're a good firm, and I wasn't interviewing with them. All I'm going to say is never do any mishy-goss like that. You're just going to get in trouble. Anyways, you guys have been really good. Thank you so much for that.
Spectacular. Thank you, Jordan. That takes amazing cojones, and you have them. But back to the story.
Right. So we were talking about this poem that being Madison Road, and we were trying to figure it out.
And I'm positive I know exactly what it's all about. Right, I'm completely positive. So, here's the deal. Listen to this very carefully, and I'm sure you're going to be on exactly the same way.